I'm super jealous that you went.
It was really good. I mean, a lot of people didn't go to the Token 2049 event itself, including myself. Um, well, one thing was because of the the floods. It takes a while for people to get to the venue.
Yeah, I heard the floods were bad over there.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting. It was an experience for sure. Um, but yeah, they said that it wasn't that great compared to like Singapore in terms of like venue and the stalls that were there, the speakers. But all
Mhm.
the side events were huge. All the sides, yeah.
I heard there like, oh, I didn't hear, but I saw a lot of the, DPIN and RWA people that I follow, there. They went to Token 2049, so I was really upset because I was like, "Oh my god, I would love to, like, meet a lot of these people I've been talking to on the internet and, like, like, network with
Yeah,
them." And I was just because I went to NFT NYC instead, so I didn't have the time nor the funds set aside for
yeah.
that, and I was like, "Oh
Mm,
my god, dude." And the
mm,
same thing's happening with Consensus now. Like Consensus happens later in May, and my bachelor party is being planned around the same time. And so my buddies, my groomsmen are like, "Oh, dude, your bachelor party's this weekend. Don't have any other
aw.
plans." And then Consensus is happening, and I was like, "No."
Mm. Yeah, there was
Oh man,
a lot of side events in terms of like DEPINS and
yeah.
what else it's in Dubai, so I reckon you would have loved it.
Yeah. Don't make me be more jealous. Come on.
You
um.
missed out. That's fine. Always
Yeah.
next
Right.
time. Next
Oh
time.
my goodness. So yeah, I guess we'll get started here in a little bit. I'm gonna let some more people flood in here. Let me see. Basically, the way we're gonna do this, guys, is so I've done a lot of like educational sessions about around RWAs and DPINs. So I'm not gonna necessarily go over like what they are. I'm gonna briefly touch on what they are, just for anyone that's kind of new.
Mm,
Just like basically like one word, not one word, sorry, one sentence, two sentence definitions for each. And then we're going to kind of move into the reason I wanted to do this. And that's because I wanted to go over like what I'm trading, what trades I'm looking at, and also like what I'm farming for
yeah.
DPINs. So because if you've been sleeping under a rock, like a lot of DPIN projects are doing lots of airdrops soon, and there's
Mhm.
lots of farming to be done, guys. Like there's blast is not the only thing you should be farming out here.
Yeah.
You should be doing blast and you should be doing DPINs, and you'll be making some good money. Polytrade, yeah, Polytrade's dope. There you go, IGen knows. Um, yeah, just so I'm just gonna go over the basically, brief definitions, and then we're gonna go right into the trades I'm currently in, and then the trades I'm looking at currently. And then towards the end, we'll probably open it up for questions. So it's not gonna be terribly long space, probably like 30 minutes or so, maybe even 45 minutes the latest. Um, Deep in blast, right? I hope. Shoot, definitely shout out some protocols in the chat, guys. If towards the end of the space, and I'll look into them for sure and give you my thoughts. Um, but yeah, I guess what is it? 7:04. So sorry, it's 7:04 a.m. for me, guys. So sorry if I sound like I just woke up because I did just wake up.
I don't know how you do it.
Let's see here. All right, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So, for anyone here who doesn't know what RWAs and DPINs are, RWAs are real world assets. People typically think of things like collectibles in real estate when they say RWA. I am more so bullish on the financial aspect, so that includes everything as like stable coins, securities, debt, all that stuff. So when you talk about tokenizing real world assets, it can really range from pretty much anything, not just collectibles. And again, like tokenizing finance, I feel like is the way that a lot of people are going to get onboarded in blockchain because once you tokenize finance, like everyone's using the blockchain and they don't even know they're using it. And just to kind of go off on a little tangent, I was at the beach recently. I went to the beach for a birthday weekend for my friend, and he knows I'm really big into crypto, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you to talk to my other guy who hates crypto here on the beach." And so I'm on the beach talking to this guy about like why I'm bullish on blockchain, and he didn't really understand. Like he had really bad information and whatnot. And so I was explaining to him how like why finance is eventually going to be on chain completely, why the dollar, like every single dollar you own in your bank account, is going to be a stable coin. Like it's going to be a token on a blockchain, and every bank account like that you have is going to be a digital wallet on chain. And that's all these banks and all these asset managers, they have the same vision. And so eventually all of finance will be on chain because it makes more sense. It's cheaper and quicker and whatnot. It makes things more seamless. And so that's kind of like what RWAs are to me more so is when I'm talking about RWAs, it's finance, but also that encompasses things like real estate, collectibles, you name it. And anything can really be tokenized and put on chain. So that's real world assets. And now DPIN. So what is DPIN? DPIN is decentralized physical infrastructure network. Now you're probably asking yourself, what is that? If you're very, very new to this, a DPIN is essentially you could be like a DPIN just because it is a decentralized network of physical computers that are upholding a ledger, upholding a network. And so technically, if you really wanted to get in the weeds about it, you could classify Bitcoin as a DPIN. However, when I'm talking about deep in here, I'm talking more so about like basically data contribution. And what do I mean by that? I mean, for instance, think of Uber, like the application Uber, but imagine if there was no company in the middle controlling the whole thing. Imagine if there was no like there was no board of executives. Imagine if there was no like just central organization kind of running the application. Imagine if all the Uber drivers were the stakeholders. Imagine if everyone using the app were upholding the app as well, like in some way, shape, or form. So like imagine all the GPS data you were gathering for Google or for Uber was being fed into the network, and then any funds generated by that data were then sent back to the end users. So like you were essentially paid out for things you're providing completely with very, very little middlemen in charge. So instead of Uber taking 40%, they'd be taking like 3% off the top. So that's kind of like how I am describing DPINs here, and that is again just people in mass contributing data to a decentralized network where there's no central entity in charge, rather the end users are in charge. Um, I see the chat is popping off, which is awesome. Means everyone here is awake. I don't know what time it is for everyone, but again, it's 7 a.m. for me, so it's good to see everyone here having a good time. All right, so that's the brief definitions we talked about. Let's go ahead and get into the current trades I'm in. So I will say I wish I had more capital to stretch myself thin, but I have my bullish plays. I have my trades that I'm in, but I'm also, looking at other things to get into as well as farming other things. So don't take this to heart as like, oh, Will or Isle doesn't own, this. That means he's not bullish on that thing. That's not the case at all. That it just means that like I might be slightly more bullish on something just personal preference wise. And I don't have the capital to stretch into that other trade to make a meaningful return. And so that just take that, as it is. Let's go ahead and get into it. Where is my coin market cap? There it is. Let me start sharing my screen here. Don't pay attention to the first thing I pulled up. It was I was looking at gaming tokens because I miss gaming a bit. Let me just change it really fast before I show you guys. Oh man, can never shake those old habits. Can never shake those old habits. Let's see here. All right, can everyone see my screen? I'm hoping so. I'm
Yeah.
using CoinMarketCap just because it is easier to find all the tokens because they're not all on Coinbase. Unfortunately, they're not all on a centralized exchange. And so, sorry if the technical analysis here is pretty basic. When I start explaining like maybe like best buying zones and whatnot, but I assure you, like I wouldn't say I'm a complete whiz at technical analysis, but I know my stuff. So I will do a brief technical analysis on all of these. It's not going to be very in depth. Just warning you now. Oh, what is semen? Interesting. Will Gato. I like that question, man. I'm not sure. Hopefully, semen is a protocol here. Interesting. I'm not sure. uh, moving on, guys. Moving on. So this is my first play here. So this is one of my most bullish RWA plays is Ondo. This is Ondo. What is Ondo? You're asking. Ondo is a governance token for Ondo Finance. Ondo Finance is a debt is a debt tokenization platform. They started a protocol called Flux Protocol, which I'm not going to get into Flux necessarily, but just know that it's a DeFi protocol where you can buy U.S. Treasuries on chain. You can buy U.S. debt on chain. And so what Ondo does is they tokenize a bunch of US debt that is owned by BlackRock. So mind you, they work very closely to BlackRock. And they put that on chain for customers to buy. And you can buy that at 5% yields and such. And so they have lots of tokenized debt products you can currently purchase, which that is one reason I'm bullish on them. But the majority of the reason I'm bullish on them is because they work so closely with BlackRock. They're backed by Coinbase, mind you. Coinbase and BlackRock support these people. Like, they love Ondo. I can look at the year chart here. And they talked about creating a security tokenization platform as well. And so they're looking really far into the future. They plan on creating a platform where people can tokenize their stocks, essentially. And what that means is imagine every single stock being put on chain. You know how much capital that is? You know how much money that is flowing onto the blockchain? And if these are one of the main facilitators of doing that, that's going to be a lot of capital, a lot of fees flowing into the Ondo ecosystem, beyond the Flux protocol, DeFi thing they have going on. And so, yes, Ondo is just a governance token, mind you, but the way I view governance tokens in this case, in the RWA case, is that it is more so like a stock than it is just a random, governance token for a DAO. And so, why wouldn't someone like BlackRock want to own more governance tokens, more Ondo tokens, in order to control how Ondo, works? Like, why wouldn't they want to do that? And so I purchased this around the, I believe, 20-cent mark. Yeah, I purchased this back in February around 20 cents. So I'm definitely in the green, as you can see. It's currently sitting in the 73, kind of 60. Sorry, where is that? Yeah, around like the 80 to 90 to 70-cent range there. So right now, I would say is a fairly decent spot to buy. That being said, if we look at the trading view chart here, which I'm really happy CoinMarketCap added this stuff. Let's see here. We go to the 1 hour. We do have a descending triangle kind of pattern forming here. So you can see right here, you have, several lower highs here, kind of in that same area, along with this, general support being held briefly past right here. And so I am concerned about a upcoming price drop in the near future. I hope you can see the technical analysis I'm doing on trading on the trading view. By the way, I'm not sure if it popped up for the stream. So, because I know it's technically a new window, so hopefully that's popping up for you. But yeah, so I'm expecting a price drop on Ondo in the near future, maybe even down to the 60-cent range there, where you have that old resistance there. So maybe wait to start buying this, maybe wait to start accumulating this into your RWA portfolio. But if you are going to start buying it right now, I would start buying a very small amount of it, like kind of dollar cost average in there. And then as it falls to 60 cents, start really packing up your bags, because right now it's sitting at a $1 billion market cap, which I know is, quite large compared to some other tokens you're probably trading. Fully diluted, it's about 7.3 billion, but the rest of those tokens aren't being released until 2025, 2026. So no worries there. That being said, I could easily see this thing pumping to, a $2 or $3 billion market cap in its current form. So easily a 2 to 3x right there for you. Just because of how much money is going to flow into Ondo via debt securities, as well as stocks and whatnot. I'm seeing a question in the chat here. Sorry, Will got to, where can I get the proof of US debt and other paper buy? All of the proof of reserves, I believe, are posted via Coinbase. If you're looking for proof of what kind of debt they own, what kind of US debt they own, I believe that's done. You can always just check it on rwa.xyz. It's a really good website I use for checking who has what tokenized, and how much debt treasuries they have on their books. But all of that is, all that's done via, second, what is it called? Outsourced auditing, I believe. So Ondo themselves, I wouldn't worry too much about. They're backed by BlackRock. They're backed by Coinbase. They're a fairly legit company. They don't even service anyone in the US, because technically it's not legal to do so. So all the debt securities that you can buy via Ondo, I can't even purchase. I live in Florida. I'm not legally allowed to purchase those. and yet I'm still bullish on these guys. So so just keep that in mind. So Ondo is definitely my largest RWA play. That being said, if you want to get into the deep inside of things, let's go ahead and switch into that. Let's go to this guy here. So I've been talking about this on my timeline for quite a bit. This is Helium Mobile. Ticker is MOBILE. And you might be wondering, oh wow, like Helium, for instance, yes, I know they fumbled the bag quite a bit back in the day, switching up the way they do things and like basically making their old miners useless. So that I know that pissed a lot of people off back in the day. But I really like what they're doing with Helium Mobile, like the 5G leg of the arm of the platform. And so Helium Mobile itself, the token is used for their mobile platform. What is their mobile platform? Their mobile platform is a 5G cellular network, which me personally, I'm subscribed to. Um, what does that mean? That means that I have a crypto cell service. I'm using crypto as my phone service. It costs about $20 a month to use. I believe it's only in America right now. But that being said, I get full 5G, unlimited data, text, and calls via this crypto phone service. Yes, I'm using a crypto phone service, Wolgato. Like I said, it's $20 a month. I get unlimited, 5G internet, voice, text, and all that. But the cool thing about Helium Mobile is that I don't even pay my phone bill using this thing, because what Helium Mobile does is I can farm it simultaneously while using the network. What I mean by that is that I can sell them my GPS data. I say, hey, go ahead and track me as much as you want, which Apple and Google already do, mind you. So I say, Helium Mobile asks your permission. They say, hey, can we track you via GPS? And I say, yeah, sure. And what they do is they what did you say? You're welcome. I bullied you and bullied you into getting Helium. Yes, Sterling. Thank you so much for bullying me into getting Helium. And yes, they will find me. They will find me. They have a certain set of skills. Uh, so I let them track me via GPS, and then they pay me out in mobile tokens for that every day. As long as I walk 40 hexes, as long as I walk around and like travel via car, via bike, whatever you name it, as long as I'm moving around, Helium will pay me out on a daily basis a set amount of mobile tokens. You can then stack those tokens and then pay off your phone bill at the end of the month, which is pretty cool. Granted, that model will not be around forever just because it's not super sustainable to keep paying out your customers tokens. And so I believe once we get more users on board, once there's more subscribers on board, that model will slowly phase out, and then you'll just have strictly miners making the tokens. Because Helium Mobile, what it's all about is they want to have everyone have a cell phone tower in their house, essentially. Like you buy this miner, you buy this $250 to $500 miner, you plug it into your internet, and now you're providing cellular service to your neighborhood or to your neighbors, and to anyone around you, really. And anyone who uses your tower pays you tokens to do so. Yeah, 300 indoor indoor hotspot, $500 outdoor. Thank you so much, Sterling. Yeah, I would post links here, but I'm not going to do all of that just because, again, this is more of like a trading session than it is like, an educational one. So Helium Mobile, I'm going to get into farming eventually too, which we can probably, look at some of those links down the road. So Helium Mobile, again, I'm buying this token because we're actively getting more subscribers on a monthly basis. I believe we're up 20% from, it was like 50 something thousand back in February or March, and we're now sitting around like 86 to 87,000 subscribers, probably even higher since I last checked. So we're clearly getting more users in the ecosystem, more people, generating mobile and using mobile, and that makes me more bullish on the mobile token itself. Not only that, the market cap is sitting around 217 million, which gets me really pumped because the actual Helium token, which is the overall governance token for Helium, which is HNT right here, it's sitting at about $889 million of market cap. And so, yes, you can get really solid returns from buying HNT, the HNT token, Helium token. But I'm looking at a short-term play with mobile because of the smaller market cap, as well as its nascency, it being so new. Let's see here. So we have, the 1 year chart. Like this stuff recently came out. Like the token's been around for a bit, but the actual platform didn't really start picking up pace until December when they launched in Miami. Or I think that was nationwide, mind you. I think they've been in Miami this whole entire time back here. and they went nationwide right here. So obviously the token really pumped as soon as they launched the nationwide service in America, kind of settled down here, consolidated, pumped again, and now we're sitting in this really, really nice range. I like this range a lot because it's just so dirt cheap. So I've been accumulating here. On the way down, I've been kind of dollar cost averaging as it's fallen, as well as holding some of my tokens that I'm generating via the farm. And so me here, if you're just getting into Helium, yeah, exactly. Helium green days are coming. I love it. If you're just getting into Helium mobile, for instance, the ticker again is MOBILE. Um, I would start purchasing now just because you're in this really nice range, like this bottomed out range where the token's still very new. Do not bet the house on it, mind you. Just start dollar cost averaging, maybe like $50 a week or $100 a week, whatever you can afford, really. Um, I would start accumulating in this zone. Maybe it falls more, pick up more, obviously there. I'm not looking to sell any of my mobile bag until we hit somewhere in the like up here, like the 0.007 to like 1 cent range, just because I think it's totally possible that we hit a penny on this thing. And so I've been slowly accumulating, kind of sitting on my bag, buying more here and there, and then not looking to sell any of that bag until around the 0.007 to 1 cent USD range. So that's mobile there. I'm sorry to harp on that for so long. I am super bullish on mobile. The last trade that I'm currently in is Crest. Again, mind you, I'm not spread out as much as I would like. I am farming a ton more. And I would like to be in a lot other trades, but we'll talk about those towards the end of the session today. And maybe answer some questions or look at some tokens y'all are trading also. Helium rewards down big over the last 2 months though. No, they definitely are, Sterling. I know the user rewards are down. I don't The miner rewards, I would imagine, are also down just because of the token's price depreciation, which makes sense. But again, I'm more bullish on the fact that we're going to get more users in the network, and more users equals more cash flow coming in eventually, especially when those user rewards are cut, like the mining, not mining, sorry, the mapping rewards I'm getting. Once those are cut down to pretty much nothing, I'm suspecting that we're going to have a ton of cash flow coming in because $20 a month is still so cheap. Like, why would you switch phone bills? And that's just going to pump the token price way higher. So that's one reason why I'm so bullish on mobile is just, again, the amount of capital and users entering the system is going to exponentially increase, as well as the mining rewards, or sorry, the mapping rewards decreasing over time, thus forcing people to shove their money into the network to use it. And that money is going to go straight to the miners. And then, bam, you're going to just have the token pump up pretty hard. Anyways, this is Crest Network. This is KREST. Let me just drink my water here. Sorry. There we go. Crest Network is a test network. It's a canary network for a blockchain that's coming out next month, actually, in May, and it's called Peak, PEAQ. Peak is something I've talked about quite a bit on my timeline. It is a layer one that is specifically designed for real world assets as well as DEPINs. So Crest is a canary network, kind of like Kusama, if you guys are familiar with Polkadot, in the sense that Crest provides real world data that people can use and test out their protocol ideas on. And so what they'll do is they'll buy Crest token, they'll stake it on the network, and via however whatever amount they're staking, they can use all of the resources that Crest Network provides and test their ideas out with real world data in real time. And that's really important because you can quickly test feasibility of ideas and adjust accordingly relatively quickly on Crest. So it creates a really cool playground for people to kind of try ideas out and then get those ideas approved to go on Peak and then get used in the real world. So that's one reason I'm bullish on the token itself. But another reason is there's an airdrop coming. So when it comes to Crest token, there is a minimum. If you hold a minimum of over 2,000 tokens, so right now that'd be a little bit under $1,000, 1,000 USD. If you own a minimum of over 2,000 tokens and you stuff it in a non-custodial wallet, I think one of the most popular ones is called Talisman. You will qualify for the Peak airdrop coming out next month. So as long as you just hold it, you don't have to stake it. You can just hold the tokens and you just leave it in your wallet. You'll qualify for that airdrop. I know it's really soon. I don't think they've done the snapshot yet, but I know that you'll qualify regardless if you just hold those tokens in that wallet. I think people who've held it longer will get a larger allocation, mind you, but you'll still get allocated. So that's another reason to hold this thing for now. And then, obviously, if you want to sell it after the airdrop, that's up to you. They are incentivizing people to hold this token after the airdrop's all said and done, though, because they released a phase 2 of the Peak airdrop for people who want to hold their Crest tokens and then stake them on the Peak mainnet. And so after the first phase airdrop happens for Peak and the Peak mainnet launches, you can then send your Crest tokens to Peak, stake it on Peak for 6 months, I think, and then you qualify for a second airdrop after that. And so just keep that in mind. The price on this thing has appreciated quite a bit. I know Scott and I were kind of talking about Crest back in the day. I think around November or December is when I started really looking at it. Yeah, I bought it in around like the 30-cent range here. And yeah, definitely was cooking. I was cooking here. It went up to 119, I think, or 135. I know Scott bought back in like at 6 cents or 5 cents or something. So he definitely cooked hard on this thing. It's come down quite a bit, I think, because a lot of the hype kind of died down on it, which is completely fine, understandable. A lot of speculation kind of left the token. But now we're hovering in this like kind of 40 to 50-cent range. So definitely not a bad spot to pick it up, in my opinion. One of the biggest problems I have with Crest is that you can't buy it in many places. You can only buy it on MEXC and XT.com. XT.com is such like a low key exchange. I don't even know why it's like they like chose it, but I guess they did. There was only like literally just $5 of transaction volume. Yeah, exactly that $5. I know, dude. It's so funny. So your best bet on here is probably just to do MEXC if you have access to MEXC. I have to VPN into it if I want to. So I bought mine on XT.com. Unfortunately, the price swings there were worse as well. So see, it's sitting at 77 cents on XT. We're on MEXC, it's at 48 cents. Yeah, so I would recommend going on MEXC and getting this token because the volume and the yeah, it's just not there. Like the price difference is way too wide. Which is why I'm still holding my token on Talisman with the future plans being to either swap it on Peak mainnet or sell it through MEXC at some point. So yeah, there's Crest. There's my third play. Again, airdrop coming next month. Let me go back here. All right, so we talked about those are the 3 plays I'm currently in. Hey, what's up, Knox? How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. We're just talking about some RWA and DEPIN plays that I'm currently in. That being said, guys, the biggest, I would say the largest exposure plays I have to RWAs and DEPINs would be just holding Ethereum and Solana. Honestly, I know it sounds super basic, but a lot of RWA platforms are building on layer 2s that correlate, that go down to Ethereum. So those layer 2s all settle to Ethereum. So any increased traffic or TVL on these layer 2s or on Ethereum base chain is going to correlate to more value being, held on Ethereum, thus bringing more value to the token of Ethereum because more gas fees are being used. Or sorry, yeah, more fees are being used, more transaction fees are being used. Same thing with Solana. Anything being built on Solana is going to correlate to Solana's, inherent value increasing. And so as long as you hold ETH or Solana, you're going to have at least some exposure to RWAs and DEPINs if you just want very broad exposure. Yeah, so I mean, I know that sounds super basic, but that's just how my brain works. Like again, layer 2s all settle on Ethereum. They have to buy Ethereum block space, and so anything happening on layer 2s will correlate to ETH, becoming more expensive in the future. Thoughts on Rio? See, so Phoenix, I've talked about Rio in the past. My thing with Rio is I like, yes, the token has done very well. I'm not going to deny the token's done extremely well, but I think a lot of it is mostly speculation because I have tried to get information about Rio. I've tried to figure out what they're doing, like how they're building it, how everything works, and I have zero information. Like I've tried. I asked them for a white paper, they didn't give me one. So like I just kind of I personally faded Rio just because I don't purchase something unless I completely understand it. And I could not completely understand Rio. And so I said, you know what? Yes, the token's doing really well, but I'm not going to risk my assets on this thing because I don't understand it fully. That being said, if you're making a bag on Rio, cool, man, awesome. I have nothing against that. Do your thing for sure. I'm personally not investing or invested in Rio though. I mean, who knows? I could change in the future. They might be, yeah, exactly. I almost got zero information from them. Like, I went on their website and it was like super basic back in the day. I don't know if it's updated since, but I remember going on their website and being like, okay, cool. Like, what is this? And being like, oh, there's nothing here. Dope. Filecoin. So Filecoin's interesting. Um, Filecoin's technically one of the older DPIN projects. I personally don't own any. I used to back in the day. I traded it and made a little bit of money on it. But yeah, that's a very solid DPIN project. I mean, it's basically decentralized storage. So people who contribute to the network, they store data and it's like scattered in a decentralized manner. And they're paid out. Those people who hold the storage of your data, they are paid out in Filecoin. And so it is a very solid DPIN project. I mean, you can see how it pumped super hard here to $183. Um, we're sitting down that 560 range now, but I would argue that that just means more opportunity. It's still in the sideways zone, exactly. But anything that's down that bad, I usually consider purchasing it because again, there's more opportunity because it's down so bad. But moving on, check out ICP2. We will towards the end there, Kit. We will towards the end. I'm going to get more into the farming side of things now. And so this is where we kind of shift gears from RWAs and we get more into DPINs. And so I like to kind of put my farming categories into two buckets. We have the lowest barrier to entry, which is like software DPINs. So like things you can download on your computer and your phone, and you can start farming immediately. And then you have hardware DPINs, which have a bit higher barrier to entry because you have to purchase things like GPUs or mining kits, or miners in the case of Helium. You have to buy an actual thing that costs a good chunk of money. And so you're going to have, that really tough barrier to entry, but the data that they're collecting ends up being that much more valuable because you're using a device that is attuned to collecting that data, if that makes sense, right? Like the data you're collecting with the device you purchase from them is going to be of higher quality than something like you get from a smartphone, which is a bit more general use and generic. um Remind me of my friend Pocky. Sorry. I'm getting distracted by chat. I should stop. You guys are hilarious in there. Um, and so personally, let's go ahead and look at the actual software ones I'm farming first. So when I say software, I mean like things you download. And so the easiest one with the least barrier to entry would be getgrass.io. I hope people can still see my screen. Yes, you can. Perfect. Now this one right here is a very, very popular one. If you have not seen this on your TL, I don't know, you've been hiding under a rock or something. This one is a browser extension that you download onto your browser, which I currently have it. If you guys can see that, I'm currently farming grass. And what grass is based in the simplest way to explain it. You are contributing your excess internet bandwidth to this protocol, so they can train AI models. So they just train a bunch of AI models using your excess bandwidth, and in exchange, you're paid out in points. Now, those points don't have there's no token associated with this yet, but the points are assumed to be, allocation towards an airdrop in the near future. That being said, you can sell those points on this website called Whales Market, which is a market where you can sell, things you're farming, kind of point allocations or token allocations that are not yet live. So let's go to points really fast. Where is it? It was just on here. There it is. Get Grass. So Get Grass is currently selling for 0.0002 on this market. That's not to say that this is the price that the token's going to be when this launches, mind you. And so just keep that in mind when you are farming something like grass. If you do sell it early on Whales Market, you could be missing out on more money because obviously the valuation of that token could be much higher. So Get Grass, really easy one to use. I'm going to post all these links in the chat, by the way, of course, with my referral code. So please use that. um, next off, yeah, right. Will, it's so funny. So Get Grass, easy, one of the easier ones to use. Next one, we're going to go into Nadix. And let's just I'm just gonna I'm gonna say again that these are all ones I'm currently farming right now. I'm also gonna talk about ones I'm not farming or ones that I'm looking into getting into farming. So we're gonna do that towards the end. But these are the ones that I'm currently farming right now. Can grass be farmed on Firefox? I have no idea, Will. I didn't know Firefox was still a thing. I thought that that browser died a long time ago. Uh, if you're still using Firefox, mind you, you might have more issues than I can help you with. Just to say. So go ahead and get on Google Chrome. So moving on to Nadix. This is similar to what Hivemapper is doing. So Hivemapper, many of you have probably heard of. It is a DEPIN mapping protocol similar to what Google Maps does, but it does it in a decentralized manner with more up-to-date data as well as more data in general. And so, the issue with Google Maps is like, oh, if I'm driving this car, like Google basically has to fund a like $500,000 car with a camera on it. They hire a guy to drive around the world and and film things with those cameras, and that costs a lot of money and time, and it's super inefficient because by the time they're done doing their job, a lot of the mapping they've done is now years old. Like if you go on Google Images and satellite images, those pictures are 2 years old, 3 years old sometimes. And so what Hivemapper does and what Nadix does is they use your smartphone camera. They use in Hivemapper's case, Hivemapper uses a dash cam, which we'll talk about later. Let's just kind of stick with Nadix, I guess, for now. So Nadix uses your smartphone camera. You just put it on your little camera mount in your car while you're driving, and they combine it with AI. So using AI, they're able to give a generic map of what you're filming with your camera. They're able to build a decent map using that, and then sell that mapping data to purchasers of that data. Because apparently, mapping data is very valuable. A lot of people value it for different reasons. Apps value it, businesses value it for different things they're trying to do. They're trying to sell products, they're trying to acquire data, and so they buy that data, and then all that value that they're dumping into buying that data is then passed to the end users who farmed it, aka me, and everyone else is using Nadix. And so when you're driving your car, you just set up your Nadix, you start driving, bam, you start farming points. It's really, really easy. All you got to do is download the app. It's on the App Store. It's called Nadix, Natix. Again, I'll post that link in there, referral code if I can, towards the end. It's one of the easier DPINs to use on your phone, besides the next one we're going to be talking about. Every time you hop in your car, guys, literally, you just turn Nadix on, you turn the camera on, and you start driving. It's really that easy. And then you just start collecting points, and all those points correlate to an airdrop that's coming soon. I think the airdrop's coming out next month, mind you, because I think Nadix is built on Peak Network, if I'm not mistaken. I think Grass is on Silencio, and then Nadix is on Peak. Looking at the questions really fast. Thanks, that we're a mapping network with smartphone. Thank you so much, Will, for posting those, by the way. That really helps me, man. Map and Earn, largest AI camera network DPIN. Thank you so much, man. You're really helpful. Yeah. So it's perfect for Uber drivers. So if you're Uber driving for like some side cash, like you can run Nadix at the same time as your Uber app. And so you're just like farming points while making money doing Uber. It's really sick. So Nadix is coming out pretty soon. That's something on your smartphone. The next one we're going to be talking about is I've talked about this one ad nauseum, meaning I talked about it a ton. Silencio. This one's called Silencio. This is also an app on your phone. You can download it on the App Store. You can get it on Google Play. It's for Android and iPhone. Essentially, what you do with Silencio is you use your microphone to record noise data. And you might be thinking, like, okay, like, why is that valuable? Well, the thing with noise data is a lot of city planners, especially in America and Europe, a lot of city planners, so government workers, people who plan out how a city is going to look, as well as real estate companies, like real estate website companies, kind of like Zillow and Realtor.com, they actually have a lot of need for this data because they like to know how noisy an area is. But like that influences how they build things. Yeah, that influences how they build infrastructure, where they build sound barriers. As well as for Zillow and Realtor, imagine you're shopping for a home or looking for a rental spot on Zillow, and now they can tell you how noisy that neighborhood is in real time, mind you, in real time, not from like a year ago. Like they can tell you, oh, yesterday it was this loud. Like imagine that. It's insane. Because the way Silencio solves this like noise pollution data collection issue is they just ask people with smartphones with decent mics, and they say, hey, listen, go out there and record noise, map out the data using like a hex style mapping system, and record that on a regular basis, and we'll pay you tokens because those tokens all carry the value of the data being purchased. So I think Zillow purchased noise data last year for like $20 million. So imagine just $20 million. Like, obviously, it's not a lot of money from one company, but imagine like 50 other companies are doing that, or like 100 other companies are doing that. So imagine all that money that these people are buying this noise pollution data, from like really inefficient means currently. And then they start buying it from Silencio instead. And database stuff. Will, you're trying your best, man. I love it. Um, you're like my summarizer, dude. This is great. So Silencio is something I've been extremely bullish on. They're being built on Peak also. You're just bored. Well, I'm sorry I'm boring you. Shoot. I'm trying my best here. Um, so Silencio is definitely something I've been bullish on for quite a while. It's being built on Peak. You can farm it today. You literally download the app. My referral code is Isle. I'll just post that here. So if you guys do get on, just type in Isle in the invite code section, and you will have used my referral code, which helps me a ton on this application. And you can start mining today. You can literally just go to your coffee shop and start checking into venues. It just records noise for a little bit. Then you type out like, oh, it's this loud, or, oh, it's kind of packed here. Cool. Or you just walk around on like while you're walking your dog and just record noise on your phone. Again, it's pretty sick, easy to use. And anyone who participates qualifies for the airdrop. So just keep that in mind. So that's one of the ones I'm farming software wise. And of course, the last one that I'm farming software wise is the cell phone provider I'm using, Helium Mobile. Now, a lot of you are not living in America, to my understanding. So I don't know if this will be available to you yet, but just keep your eye out on this stuff. Keep your eye on Helium Mobile, and just like look, maybe follow them on Twitter. Put your notifications on, just because they might, they have plans to branch out across the world eventually. I know they just offered roaming recently for Americans, so like now I can go to other countries and roam. And still have phone service. So Helium Mobile is cool because for instance, like I told you earlier, I can walk around and farm this. Like if I go to the gym today, when I go to the gym today, I'm technically farming Helium because I'm leaving my house and I'm traveling a certain distance. And when you start traveling around, that's when Helium mapping starts activating. And when that activates, they start paying you tokens for those hexes that you mapped. And so technically I am doing a little farming with that. Again, it's more so to pay off my phone plan, my $20 a month phone plan here. But that is like the light software farming I'm doing. Now let's go ahead and get into hardware. The hardware farming I'm doing, this is probably the main one currently. And this is Demo. Dimo. Demo. Hello Helium. No, it's not hellohelium.com. It's just Helium Mobile. If you just Google this, just type in Helium Mobile, you'll be fine. I appreciate you trying, though. He's giving you guys bad links. He's gonna rug you. Watch out. I'm just kidding, Will. You would never do that. Two wills make a what was it? When there's a will, there's a way. So when there's two of us, it's even better. There's more willpower. Because I don't know if you know Will, but my name's Will also.
That was so good. I'm like laughing.
Yeah, shut up, Mia. I know a lot of this is just me talking, but I guess before I get into the hardware segment, Mia, do you have any questions?
No, this is so interesting, and it's actually something like I'm looking like I want to start doing, because these other like farming that we do, such as like blasts and stuff, it requires you to send money in to actually earn money. And this
Yeah.
is like something that you can do in your day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love DEPIN so much. Is instead of money, you're farming with time. You're farming with time and
Mhm.
just using your already, you're using your cell phone, you're using your hardware, and like it's just stuff you
Yeah,
already own. And so you're
yeah,
farming for these airdrops without having to risk any capital whatsoever. It's kind of insane.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why, and this is also why I love Demo so much. So Demo is another car one. That being said, there is a hardware device you have to install into your car. It's really easy to install. I'm trying to find it on here now. They usually have it on their main page, but I guess not right now. Let me see. Where is it? Drivers. Go to drivers, get connected. They have it on because this is the app you install with Demo. So basically, the application hooks up to your hard. Yeah, here we go. Here's the hardware devices. Perfect. Um, I don't drive. Rip. So if you do have a car, if you're not Maria and you have a car, you basically can install. If you have an older car, you can install one of these two devices in your vehicle. It's like right below the driver's side there, which is what like a repair shop will do. They'll plug into your vehicle's computer, and what this does is this device relays information to your app on your phone, and it tells you things like your car's health. It tells you things like, oh, your tire pressure's low, or it gives you warning lights about your engine, and gives you kind of like a full diagnostic on your vehicle, which is really sick because now you can know everything that's happening to your car. You can say, oh yeah, like I know my car's health because I'm using this app. It's really sick. But the cool thing about Demo is all this information you can then opt to sell it. You can sell this information to car dealerships, to car companies, as well as insurance companies, because for some reason they love buying this data. Like insurance companies love knowing about this stuff because it helps them set rates. It helps them set insurance rates. If they know more about a vehicle, like let's say in aggregate, if they know more about like Ford, I have a Ford Escape. It's a really crappy car. Do not buy a Ford Escape. But I have a Ford Escape. So like let's say there's like 100,000 people with Ford Escapes, and they have like like what was it, like over half of them have the same issue. Like, and it's like a common problem with an engine or something. Now Demo can collect that information with those issues, or with those whatever those health issues for your car, and then it sells it to those insurance companies because they buy that information from them, and then that money gets passed down to people who provided that information, aka me and all the other Demo users, like people who provided that information. So I think it's a really, really cool way to kind of democratize like this kind of like really secluded, monopolized industry of like, hey, we're gonna buy data from only like one or two companies who collect this data, and that's it. Instead, now they can just buy it from Joe Schmo. They can buy the data from me, who is actually collecting it, boots on the ground in real time. So it's better data, it's cleaner data, and now I'm getting paid my fair share for it. So I really like that. Mind you, if you have a newer car, if you have like a Tesla, for instance, or if you have a car with like a really fancy computer inside of it, you don't even actually have to get these devices. You can just install it on your car's computer. And when you install the app, it just automatically hooks you up to Demo. And as you're driving, it just gives you Demo tokens. It gives you points. So like right now, like every day I drive, it doesn't matter how far I'm driving, I'll just get points sent to me on a weekly basis. It's really, really cool. If you're looking for an easier way to get into Demo instead of buying one of these devices too, you can look into joining a fleet. You can like someone will basically get you in their fleet, like kind of put you under their wing, and they'll pay for the device up front for you, send it to you, and then they'll take a portion of the tokens you earn with it in exchange. So that's something to look into as well. But Demo is a really easy one to use. I like that one a lot. That's one of my favorite hardware ones. Yeah, you can actually do that, Kipsick. In the app, there's a marketplace. So you can like sell your car in the marketplace, and you can like get discounts via you can use Demo tokens to pay for things like oil changes and like get discounts in your local area. If they are hooked up to Demo. It's actually kind of cool, man. You pre-install it to them. Imagine it works as a car seller. I think I know what you're saying now, Kipsick. That's pretty funny, actually. You get people to unwillingly or unknowingly farm Demo for you. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so the cool thing about these car ones, mind you, is that I now am farming multiple networks in one drive. So let's say I want to Uber drive or something, I can just turn on Nadix and then have my demo device plugged in. And then if I have Hivemapper 2 in the car, I'm now farming three different protocols and driving for Uber and making money. Like, so it's like it's kind of hilarious. I know a lot of truck drivers are doing this right now. A lot of semi truck drivers are installing Demo, are installing Natix, are getting Hivemapper, are doing Map Metrics, all these other like car ones, and they are making like $40,000 to $50,000 extra per year on top of their salaries. It's insane, dude. It's really cool because they're selling all this really valuable data. So that being said, we're gonna move on to something you guys are much more familiar with. Actually, let me just do this so I don't find the wrong website. Aethir. You guys have seen Aethir before. I know a lot of us participated in the pre-sale for Aethir. Aethir is a GPU compute DPIN. And so anyone who purchased an Aethir node in the pre-sale will be allowed to activate said node, the checker node, and then farm Aethir, farm ATH tokens. It's fairly straightforward the way GPU compute networks work. The way they work is that let's say I have a gaming GPU in my computer, I can dedicate that GPU to this network and render certain things for them, like render compute for them, like give them compute power. And so like anyone running a video game or anyone running like film editing software, they use a piece of my GPU to help render that thing, to help compute that whatever workload they're trying to compute. And so you can actually you make a more efficient system by doing so, because now these people don't have to go buy giant server buildings, and like these AI startups don't have to go out and buy a ton of servers to run their AI. They can actually just spread that compute power and rent other people's GPUs and render or compute those tasks, which is amazing. And so GPU compute has really blown up, as you guys have known. There's so many GPU computes coming out of the woodwork. Render being one of them, Aethir, Gaimin, all these guys, and they're all great. IO.net as well. And so they're all kind of focusing on different segments of the market. I know Aethir has teamed up with Gaimin and with IO.net as well. And so I feel like GPU compute is going to be kind of like one of the like larger DPINs, because it has a lot of usage to it. Like, and also there's going to be lots of money flowing in from these companies who are trying to get the compute power for their AI systems. Do I know about Gunzilla? They also have their node. I did not know about Gunzilla, but I'll definitely look into them. If they don't know, it's not legal. I believe US or any other countries don't have laws about it yet. Aethir node. Rent other people GPU to do tasks such AI rendering, gaming. Oh, thank you, Will. Thank you for summarizing that again. 5,000 series dropping this year. Ooh, interesting, Agent. Interesting. That's good to know, man. I might buy some more GPUs. But yeah, so I purchased an Aethir node. I'm expecting to hopefully profit from that, get some Aethir tokens when that drops. So those are all the ones I'm currently farming right now. The ones I'm looking at farming are, let's just go ahead and do this really quickly. I don't want to take up any more of your time, guys. I'm trying not to. This is Koi Network. It is similar to a GPU compute, except it's a lot more general based. It's a lot more task specific based. So this is something you can download, install on your computer today. It's Koi Network. I'm gonna type that in. I spoke with the founder, and he's a really cool guy. I'm still learning somewhat more about them, but I installed a node on my computer and I'm currently farming it. It's in testnet right now, so it's not, there's no mainnet launch. There's no actual dollar value associated with the token yet, but this is something you can get into and start farming with your GPU. The next one is Hivemapper. We just talked about that, obviously. This is like Nadix, except you need to buy a dash cam for it. And they aim to be basically better than Google Maps, which in my opinion they already are. Hang on. Oh, can you list the links in one message, please? Yeah. No, Horseshoe. I'm gonna be linking all that towards the end here. I'm gonna build up a link, like a good section of like links you can check out all these DPINs if you'd like. The next ones, that's Hivemapper. The next one is IO.net. This is another GPU compute. They just teamed up with Aethir recently. I believe you can start farming with your GPU today. All you have to do is sign up, make an account, and deploy. They have a ton of GPUs, I believe, just like Aethir does. So you can start. Just got compromised. Yes, I know, kid. I was going to mention that they did just get compromised a few days back. I believe that issue's been solved though. And so I am bullish on what the team is building in IO.net. That being said, I don't own any IO.net, nor am I farming it currently. I have just been looking into farming it. You have bags too, nice. But that being said, you could also say your IO.net exposure is tied to Aethir. So if you just want to have minimal exposure to IO.net, you could just stick with Aethir. Because Aethir has teamed up with them and they are GPU compute. So if you don't want to spread your GPU compute exposure too much, you could just purchase Aethir or ATH token, whatever the token's gonna be called, or farm Aether and still have that, GPU compute exposure. You could do the same thing with render as well, and Gaiman if you'd like to. I know Gaiman's price depreciation has spooked a lot of people, has pissed off a lot of people, but again, price depreciation creates opportunity. So I look at things like that. Speaking of Gaiman, the next one that I was going to mention is Gaiman. I know that their airdrop and whatnot didn't go over so well with a lot of people, and the token did dump tremendously. Let's look at that really fast. But that being said, the price has come down significantly, and their platform is still growing. And so, to me, that might be some opportunity there. Not for everyone, obviously. I'm just looking at it. I have zero exposure to gaming currently, but I am keeping my eye on this thing. That is another GPU compute you could farm, more focused on gamers than the general AI GPU compute stuff like Aether and Render are doing. I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Yeah. Wait, what they say, Will? They said they answered, we have great security, but if attack comes, we will see what we can do. I have to talk to Aether about that because I don't I mean, yeah, if there's an AMA, oh, they had an AMA here and you asked them and they said, "Oh, we don't know what we can do if we get attacked." I mean, that's pretty much any platform though if you really break it down into brass tacks, it's like if they have great security, but they can only do so much if they don't know about a certain exploit or a hack in their system, right? My car is old, don't have GPS, LOL. Same thing as grass, to be honest. Just gotta be careful. Yeah, exactly. Grass's architecture basically makes them susceptible to DDoS attacks. Oh, I know all of that. Again, when you're farming things like GPU computes and like bandwidth sharing, like what you're doing with Grass, you are opening yourself up to a little bit of risk there in terms of device risk and security risk for your computer. So just keep that in mind when you are farming things like that. It's kind of why I opt for the software, the phone tech more so because you are just contributing your camera data and your microphone data, which is already being stolen from you anyway. And so farming things like Silencio and Nadix make more sense to me and are easier to do for me because I know the risk there is a bit less so than farming something like grass. That being said, I still am farming grass. So, because I understand the risks associated with grass. So just keep that in mind, everyone, when you are farming these GPU compute as well as bandwidth style DEPINs. Anything that uses your network or your main computer. So that's game in there. We obviously know about them. Another one I'm looking to get into. This one's a bit hardware gated, but it is on Peak Network. It's called Wingbits. So Wingbits is a flight tracking DPIN. Basically, you buy a miner from them. Like there's a whole set of instructions on here to do. I've talked to the founder about this before as well, about kind of making this process a bit more simple. But you buy a set of items from them or from Amazon. It's like an auto pie as well as some antennas. You have to buy it all together. It is a bit strange. But it's like $150 in total. You install this stuff into your house, you hook it up to your internet, you install all of these these devices and put them together kind of like Legos. Love watching hacking content. But then you start instantly farming flight data, and you might be thinking to yourself, okay, like why am I farming flight data? Well, because Raytheon and Lockheed Martin purchased billions of dollars worth of flight information, or they sold they purchased billions of dollars worth of flight information from like a handful of companies who collect it. And so, mind you, this data is not very well, not well, sorry, it's not widely available. A handful of companies start farming like this, like they start collecting this data and they sell it to companies like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon for tons of money. And so, Wingbits saw a market where, like, hey, we can make a more distributed system where people are actively collecting this same data on a wider scale. So the data is now more accurate and more plentiful and thus making it more valuable. And then you can sell it to these companies like Raytheon and share those profits with the end users. The token, there is no token associated with it yet, but it is coming on Peak Network. So when Peak comes out next month, Wingbits, I'm suspecting, is going to do an airdrop at that point. Kate, love the session. Got to run now, but for another meeting, but I'm actually part of a team building a DePIN product as well. Would love to have a chat with you. Oh, okay, yeah, hit me up in the DMs, dude. I'll add you as a friend. Here, let me shoot you a friend request. We might already be a friends on here though. View profile, accept. There we go. Yeah, just shoot me a DM, bro. We'll talk in the DMs for sure. Thank you for coming by. Next speaker is Kit for DePIN for sure, dude, for sure. The last hardware play I'm looking at, last hardware farming system I'm looking at is GeoNet. So this is the last one, guys. Then we can do questions and then we'll end the session. Sorry, it went a little bit longer. I was kind of answering questions as we went. Why did I just do that? There we go. Bam. So GeoNet is building the world's largest RTK network. I'm gonna very simply explain that to you guys. I'm not gonna try to get into the weeds with GeoNet. Essentially, GeoNet's making GPS better. So you buy a satellite, like you buy like a little device, you install it in your home, and it helps make GPS more accurate because GPS is not as accurate as it could be. And so when they help make GPS more accurate, like that again, that data that they're providing, that RTK data is becoming more and more I guess I'm trying to find the right words, more valuable. And so people who purchase that data or people who utilize that data have to pay for it. And that money then translates into the token, which I think the token is currently live. It's called GEOD, and miners are paid out in that token. I think GEOD's price appreciation has been kind of like slow and steady. Why tag him? Excuse me. Sorry. So now we have, yeah, this is the Geo token. It's done extremely well the past couple of days. Holy crap. Yeah, I pumped, what is that, 15 days ago from 15 cents to almost 30 cents. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, so, Geo token's been getting very, very popular. Yeah, IO's definitely upcoming as well. That's going to be, I think that airdrop's going to be nice, pretty large, Noah. But yeah, this is another one I'm looking at buying. I think the device is $800. So if you buy a miner, I think it's, yeah, sorry, 700. It's 695 USD. So this is the device you buy. It comes with all this stuff that you have to equip onto your home. And then you start farming these tokens. And then bam, you start making money. It's as simple as that, guys. It's as simple as that. So that's the GPS one I've been looking at. Those are all the ones I'm looking to farm currently. I am down to answer any questions before we end the session, guys. I would say to add, the only other tokens I'm looking at are these right here. I don't want to go over them because if we do, we're going to be here for much longer than I have time for, unfortunately. But look at these tokens if you're looking at part 2, right? Part 2, maybe in the near future there will. Hang on, sorry. Look at these 3 RWA tokens whenever you guys have time. It's Travel, Proppy, and then Parcel. I am quite bullish on what these platforms are building. And the tokens have, I know Pro has done extremely well, and Travel's kind of, slowly kind of getting there. Parcel recently had an airdrop. They, I know their token depreciated from the all-time highs after the airdrop, but it could be a really good time to get in. I am just super, super bullish on all 3 of those RWA tokens, and I'm looking to get in at some point. Nillion AI project. I do not, Saif, but I will give you. Let's see. Let's look this up. Let's go to Google. I'm gonna do Nillion. You said it's called Nillion. True sensitive data. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Website looks cool. I'll have to look into this. I'll definitely look into this. Thoughts on OM? Is that Mantra? Well, from a token perspective, oh wow. From a token perspective, it's done very well, similar to something like Rio, just kind of pumped up really hard. Talking on blind computation, that's really cool. I'm gonna definitely favorite that, Saif. Thank you for showing me that, man. I'm definitely gonna do some more research on that. I gotta add it to the list. Let's look at Mantra real quick. I'm looking at the about security first RWA layer 1 blockchain capable of adherence and enforcement of real world regulatory requirements built for institutions and developers. Mantra offers a permissionless blockchain for permissioned applications. I like that sentence. I like that sentence a lot. It definitely explains it pretty well. It is built using Cosmos SDK. That's sick. So it's just it's basically just a Cosmos offset, which is awesome. That I'm definitely going to look into this. I mean, yeah, the token's done very, very, very well. As everyone can see here, it's kind of choppy for the past month or so, but it has reached a high there of $1 during April, so that was nice. Um, yeah, it looks like it's been around for a while. Actually, I'm surprised I didn't know about this. Interesting. No, thank you for bringing it to my attention. Mantra, I've never heard of Mantra. Huh. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if anyone has any other tokens they'd like me to look at or any questions, please ask me now. Forever hold your peace. I'm gonna get those links for you right away, right now for you. So let me just go ahead and get my referral link for Grass. If this thing opens, please open. Thank you very much. Cool. So I got that. This is the best RWA token. OG one. Are you talking about Mantra? Nice. I'm getting all the links for you right now, guys. So if you just want to hold up real quick. This is get grass. Let's go over the ones I was doing. So let's do Nadix, the ones I'm currently farming. I don't want to give you guys the ones I'm looking at farming just because I don't want you guys to, like get into like a possible rug and then be like, oh my god. Let's see.
I gotta leave for a meeting now, but feel free to
Yeah,
send
I'm
through.
ending the session here in a bit, so
Yeah.
it's totally fine. But thank you for stopping
Yeah.
by, Mia. Thank you so much for
No,
hosting
thank
this.
you. That was really good. That was
No,
great. Learned a lot.
this has been super awesome. Send a friend request to connect. Thank you so much, Element. Yeah, I'm posting as much as I can here, guys. Hang on.
Alright.
All right, Mia. Thank you so much for hosting this and let me up here. This has been excellent. I love doing stuff like this.
No, great. Oh, great. Yeah, just post that, and then send it to me in the DMs as well if you can, so then I can post it in the seminar. Once it's done recording and everything as well.
Will do. I'll shoot you a DM for sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I'm getting this up now. So here's the three that I'm actively doing. So there's Get Grass, Nadix, and Silencio. Thank you, William, for the info. Thank you so much. Of course, man. Of course. No, thank you, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. There's those three codes. I have my referral code attached to the Get Grass one is a direct referral code. Nadix is just their website. I don't have a referral code for that one just yet. I need to go on my phone and find it, I believe. But Silencio, my referral code is ISLE. It's just ISLE. So whenever you do download that one on the App Store, you just type in ISLE on the invite code and you can start, farming immediately. So those are the three that I'm currently farming besides, Demo and them. So I'll go ahead and post those links as well. Where is my Demo? Demo. There you go. There's Demo. You already know about Hivemapper, but I'm going to put Hivemapper in here. Hivemapper's been around for a while, which is why I say that. I'm not going to post Helium Mobile just because a lot of you I know don't live in America. And so you're not going to be able to reap the benefits of Helium Mobile just yet. But then Aethir as well. Everyone knows about Aethir in here, so I'm not going to post that link. GeoDNet I will post, however, because I do plan on buying this device. And so those are the five links I'm going to post here for now, guys. The other ones, if anything in general chat, I'll talk about this a lot more. You can definitely get that information from me. If you want these links sent to you directly, just DM me. I'll see what I can do. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate y'all listening to me jibber jabber about this stuff for the past hour. It's been a ton of fun. I love talking about RWAs and DEPINs. I'm super bullish on all of it. Like I told you, I'm pretty sure the whole entire financial infrastructure of the world will be tokenized on blockchain. That's why I'm so bullish on things like RWAs and DEPINs make just way too much sense for me. And are a great way to farm and make money too. So make sure you're farming, share the richness. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much, Will, for the note taking, man. You are a killer. And yeah, guys, that's it from me. I'm gonna get going here. Like I said, ping me in the chat or just shoot me a DM if you would like to chat more about this stuff. But thank you so much, guys, and have a great rest of your evening and day. Peace.